lecture we will discuss about geothermal energy. You might have heard about hot water fountains coming out of the earth automatically. In mountainous regions, you might have heard about hot water springs where people pay and take hot bath. Now you may think that where does this water gets its energy from? And when the surrounding is that much colder and people are shivering there and still there are hot water springs. So where does this water gets its energy from? Let's find out. To find out the answer, we have to go deep inside the earth. The answer to this question lies inside the core of the earth. So we know that Earth's core is full of hot molten magma which keeps on building continuously through radioactive process and through the vigorous movement of tectonic plates. So geothermal energy is the heat generated from the Earth's core. The geothermal energy of the Earth crust originates from the original formation of the planet and from radioactive decay of materials. Let's see the thermal structure of the Earth. The Earth is divided into different layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. The crust is the uppermost shell of the Earth, which extends deeply below the oceans, mountains, and continents. The second concentric shell of the Earth is the mantle. The upper mantle extends up to a depth of 100 km, and the lower mantle is less rigid and hotter than the upper mantle. The innermost concentric shell of the Earth is the core, and this layer is further divided into outer core as well as inner core. Let's see how heat is transferred in the Earth. Heat is transferred from the sun to the Earth through radiation, and inside the Earth or in the interior of the Earth, heat is transferred through conduction as well as convection. This is the geothermal system or the hot spring structure. The picture clearly depicts how hot springs are produced from the hot molten magma, the permeable rocks, the crystalline rocks, and the underground water. We know that Earth's interior is full of high temperature magma which keeps on building up continuously through radioactive process and through the vigorous movement of tectonic plates. So, when this hot molten magma pushes the rocks above this, the heat is transferred from the hot magma to the rocks and the rocks become hot rocks. When the underground water comes in contact with this hot molten rocks or the hot rocks, the heat is transferred to the water and the water is converted into steam. And this steam is coming out of the Earth's surface as hot water fountains or hot springs. Now, we can utilize this steam coming out of the Earth's surface for electricity generation. So, we can utilize this geothermal resources for power generation. The geothermal resources are classified as hydrothermal or hydrogeothermal energy resources, geopressured resources, petrothermal systems or hot dry rocks, magma resources, and volcanoes. Now let's see how a geothermal power plant works. So we know that if somehow we can rotate a turbine coupled to a generator, we can produce electric current. So the steam coming out of the Earth's surface, we can utilize this steam for rotating a turbine. We can utilize this steam coming out of the Earth's surface for rotating a turbine which is coupled to a generator and thereby producing electric current. And the exhaust steam from the turbine is condensed, cooled, and then converted into water again, and this water is re-injected into the Earth's surface or the interior of the Earth through a re-injection well. This is how a geothermal power plant works. Now the advantages of geothermal energy. The major advantage of geothermal energy is that the steam is made naturally, hence no steam is required to produce. And also, it is the most versatile and least polluting renewable source of energy. It can be harnessed 24 hours throughout the day, and it can be used for multiple purposes Also, it delivers greater amount of net energy from its system as compared to other alternative or conventional systems. The major disadvantage of geothermal energy is that the drilling operation during the construction of geothermal power plant is noisy. Large areas are needed for exploitation of geothermal energy. The withdrawal of large amounts of steam or water from a hydrothermal reservoir may result in surface subsidence or settlement. And also, these geothermal hotspots are very few, so geothermal power plants are limited only to those hotspots. Now, the applications or uses of geothermal energy. Obviously, we can use this geothermal energy for electricity generation as we have seen earlier. It can also be used for direct heating or space heating. Then it can be used in heat pumps also. So our country it has been discovered that our country also has a huge potential for geothermal resources. It has been discovered that 340 non-thermal areas, each represented by hot springs or warm springs, are located in India, and several other areas are being discovered and reported. A pilot project named Greenhouse Pilot Project has been set up in Ladakh region, which utilizes hot water from a nearby geothermal well to heat the soil and the environment of a greenhouse. And the project has proven that 41 varieties of plants, including creepers, vegetables, fruits, and other trees, can be grown even at the peak of winter, utilizing this geothermal power and the construction of a greenhouse, whereas normally no germination is possible throughout the year in this area. So all these studies have confirmed the suitability of geothermal resource for utilization for various purposes. That's all for today. Thank you.